President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and King Abdullah bin al-Hussein of Jordan stressed the need for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. President al-Sisi and the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani, review efforts aimed at achieving ceasefire in Gaza. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his Qatari counterpart Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim Al Thani discuss ways to strengthen economic ties. You're watching Qnews, and here's the latest from Egypt. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein of Jordan have stressed the need for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the implementation of humanitarian aid without restrictions or conditions. The two leaders stressed their keen success of the Gaza Humanitarian Response Support Conference, which will be hosted by Cairo on December the 2nd. They also reiterated the importance of the international community assuming its responsibilities to ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid to the Strip, and emphasized the pivotal role of UNRWA in this regard. The two sides also discussed the situation in Lebanon, where they welcomed the ceasefire and underlined their belief in the security, sovereignty and stability of Lebanon. President al-Sisi and the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani, have reviewed efforts aimed at achieving ceasefire in Gaza, the release of detainees, and securing unconditional access to humanitarian and relief aid to the Strip. The two sides also stressed the importance of empowering and supporting all Lebanese state institutions, especially the army, to preserve Lebanon's security, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, while affirming their aspiration to build on the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon to ease regional tensions. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his Qatari counterpart Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim Al Thani have discussed ways to strengthen economic and investment ties. Prime Minister Madbouli has explained that one of the areas of joint cooperation between Egypt and Qatar during the next stage will be through a very important real estate investment project in the North Coast region. He added that the Qatari side can benefit from establishing industrial partnerships in Egypt by exporting the products of these projects to the African market, of which Egypt is the main gateway, in addition to exporting these products to countries that have free trade agreements with Egypt. Foreign Minister Badr Abdul Ati and his Qatari counterpart Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani have discussed the regional situation in Gaza, Lebanon and Sudan. Minister Abdul Ati said that the two sides have discussed the importance of an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and reaching a deal to release detainees. He further stated that establishing the Palestinian state is the only path to regional stability. Sheikh Al Thani added that they also discussed the humanitarian situation in Sudan. Egypt has welcomed the ceasefire deal between Israel and Lebanon that took effect this morning and called for an end to the Israeli aggression in Gaza. The Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that the deal would help de-escalate the region by fully implementing UN Resolution 1701, including the deployment of the Lebanese army in southern Lebanon. It emphasized the need to respect Lebanon's sovereignty, avoid foreign interference, and complete the formation of Lebanese institutions, including the presidential election based on national consensus. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Abdelmajid Saqr, has inspected a number of armed forces units planned to participate in one of the African Union's missions in the presence of Lieutenant General Ahmed Khalifa, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, and a number of armed forces leaders. Lieutenant General Abdelmajid Saqr has conveyed the greetings and appreciation of President el-Sisi to the forces, stressing that the participation of the armed forces in the UN mission comes within the framework of Egypt's continued implementation of its pioneering role at the regional and international levels. Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation Hani Soueilem has praised the important role of Tunisia within the action on water adaptation and resilience as it participated in training programs held under the umbrella of the initiative. During his meeting with Tunisian Minister of Agriculture Azzeddine bin Sheikh, the ministers discussed exchanged expertise in the field of treating and reusing agriculture wastewater, along with transferring Egyptian know-how in this field to the Tunisian side. Minister of Health and Population Khaled Abdel Ghaffar has stressed that the national strategy for manufacturing and localizing vaccines in Egypt aims to enhance local production of vaccines and reduce dependence on imports, which contributes to improving the country's health and economic situation. The ministry's spokesman, Hossam Abdel Ghaffar, stated that the medium-term targets include localizing 75% of vaccine production by 2035, developing research partnerships, and approving 4 additional vaccines. He added that the long-term targets include achieving 100% self-sufficiency by 2040, enhancing Egypt's position as a regional center for vaccine production and export, and increasing exports by 50% while opening new markets. Car imports surged during the first 8 months of 2024, totaling $1.692 billion, up from $1.155 billion during the same period in 2023. According to data from the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, this surge represents an increase of approximately $536.6 million, reflecting a growing demand for vehicles. Egypt and Saudi Arabia have discussed fostering bilateral investment opportunities and launching joint projects across key sectors of mutual interest. Egypt's Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade, Hassan al-Khatib, met with Saudi Arabia's Minister of Investment, Khalid al-Falah, during the 28th Annual World Investment Conference to explore ways to enhance economic cooperation between the two nations. The meeting also addressed the recently signed bilateral investment protection agreement, which al-Khatib emphasized would enhance Egypt's investment climate and attract further Saudi investments. Egypt and Spain have signed two grant agreements worth €800,000 provided by the Spanish Agency for International Cooperation to fund two projects in Egypt. The first is a €500,000 grant to support a wastewater treatment and reuse project in Egyptian sugar factories aimed at improving water quality, reducing pollution, and ensuring sustainability by reusing treated water. The second €300,000 grant to fund the second phase of the Youth Employment and Entrepreneurship Creation Project. The project aims to increase income opportunities, employment and self-employment for young people. The Central Bank of Egypt has withdrawn 135 trillion Egyptian pounds from 26 banks at a 27.75% interest rate following 792.05 billion Egyptian pounds last week. Earlier in April 2024, CBE adopted the full allotment approach, accepting all bids proportionally. The updated policy aims to enhance monetary policy efficiency, manage liquidity, and align with global practices. Results are now published for the transparency, reflecting the CBE's commitment to effective economic policy transmission. The United Bank's private placement has ended with a 5.99 oversubscription, attracting major international and local investors, offering 313.5 million shares, which is 28.5% of total shares. The IPO marks Egypt's first since 2021, signaling renewed privatization efforts. The bank aims for net profits of 3.071 billion LE in 2025, rising to 6.681 billion LE by 2028. Its June 2024 profits reached 1.2 billion LE, nearly doubling year on year, reflecting strong financial growth projections. Zamalek kicks off their CAF Confederation Cup Group D campaign on Wednesday at Cairo International Stadium against Mozambique's Black Bulls. The White Knights, looking to recover from Saturday's league loss to Al Masry, aim for a strong start at home. Coach Jose Gomez promised improved performance, relying on Ahmed Zizo to spearhead the attack. Black Bulls, despite injury setbacks, they arrived determined to represent Mozambique boldly. Egyptian Meteorological Authority expects tomorrow's weather will be cold in the morning and that it will remain cold during the day in Greater Cairo, the Delta, the North Coast and North Upper Egypt, and moderate in temperature in South Sinai and South Upper Egypt. The authority also anticipates morning fog on roads across the country, while moderate rain is expected to fall in and around the North Coast and the northern part of Lower Egypt at intermittent intervals. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here's what we have been covering. President el-Sisi and King Abdullah of Jordan stressed the need for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. President al-Sisi and the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani, review efforts aimed at achieving ceasefire in Gaza. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his Qatari counterpart, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim Al Thani, discussed ways to strengthen economic ties. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.